All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna start a new project here on our KNF home DIY little journey. We're gonna be making lactic acid bacteria, or culturing lactic acid bacteria, or labs for short. Super simple. One of a essentials to have in the garden. I've been using it for a little over a year or so now. In my application, what I do is I use 1 shot glass per gallon, and normally what happens is I either use it for soil drench, or when I am putting water down the tube for my earth box, I am doing 1 shot glass per fill of a reservoir, and that's 2 gallons to a shot glass. So the ratios are definitely able to be mixed around. One of the awesome things about this style of gardening is it can be very forgiving. But basically what this is a bacteria. It is a beneficial bacteria microbe that is going to outcompete some of the negative ones that we don't want to have in our garden. Any anaerobic, yeast causing alcohol. There's so many that it works very well. And I'd also like to say, this is not something that I know the ins and outs of. I don't have a huge, there's people that are far more knowledgeable than I am. But again, this is something that I want to share with you. This is something that I have been doing. It's super simple. So simple, an idiot like myself can do it, and I think that you can do it too if it's something that you're interested in. We only have a few things that we really need, and again, you don't have to use exactly what I'm using. Some of this stuff is interchangeable. Also, this is the handbook that I go off of, and we will be going off of as I do some of the other ferments. So this is kind of like the baseline. What I would say is probably some of the easiest recipes that you'll do for KNF style gardening. This is kind of like the when someone gets into it, this is the first step that they take, because you can use it into other things and it is so easy to do. But this book right here is the one that I've used. I know a lot of other people use. Definitely worth checking out. I've got some of them bookmarked. These are ones that I keep going back to. So definitely check that out. But let's go over what we need, and then we'll get down, we'll start going through some things, and we'll get it started. Before we do that, this is also one of those things where it's going to depend on your climate. If it's during the winter and it's cold, just like how we have it here, I tend to keep my house cold in the winter. This can take a little bit longer. But there's kind of 2 steps that we go into, where we're first doing the rice wash and then where we add the milk. So it's kind of 2 little breaks that we'll be doing. We're gonna go over the things that we need. We're going to have a bowl. We're going to have some sort of colander, sieve, whatever you wanna use. And I am also going to use a coffee filter. We'll be using a coffee filter for this, as well as our lid once we get to that point. We are doing this with rice. We will be taking the rice, putting it in the bowl, adding some water. We're gonna agitate it and let it soak for about 15 minutes. And then we will take that, and that will go to our next step. Our next step will be taking a 1-to-10 ratio. So 1 part of our rice wash to 10 parts of milk. In this case, I'm gonna be using whole milk. You don't have to use this. From what I understand, your best bet is going to be using raw milk, organic, all that good stuff from your guy down the street is going to be working much better than something like this. But I haven't gotten to that point where I've located somebody that I can get it from. It's probably super easy and I'm just overthinking it, but I just use the milk from the store. So we've got that. Of course, we're gonna need a couple different containers. Now remember, if you make this, if we made a big huge thing of this, a half gallon of our rice wash, you've got to use 1-10 ratio, so that's going to be a lot of milk. So we'll get to the point where we start talking about measurements and how much we're using. But for this, we're only going to be doing 2 cups of rice. We're also going to take that rice, and that's going to be for another project. We're going to make some IMO, or try to collect some IMO. So that's going to be another fun one that I'm really excited about. I tried to collect it last year, but I ended up having a bunch of rain and it just did not work out well. So that was a failed project. So this summer we will be doing that together and learning together on that. But this is such an awesome, it's a little science experiment, really. This is something that you can involve your kids. Anytime you can involve the whole family in the gardening experience, I think is awesome. Have fun with it. And like I said, this is really one of those baseline ones where you use this piece to make other things as well. So it's really an awesome thing. So let's get down. Let's start measuring this out. We're gonna be letting it soak for 15 minutes, so it's gonna be a little bit of a process. But like I was saying earlier, this whole process is gonna take, depending on your climate, 5 days. Each little section can take up to that. Obviously, the warmer you're gonna have it, the quicker it will go. The cooler temperatures are gonna slow it down. But what we'll be doing is we're gonna make it, we're gonna put it off to the side out of direct sunlight. I'm just gonna have it here on my, my counter. So I've got it, it's sitting at about 70 degrees right now. So we will see how this goes. I will make sure we keep updates on it, and then we will string all of this together to one final project in one video. And I'm super excited about this. Like I said, I've been making this for quite some time. I consider this a staple in the garden. So I'm excited to show you guys how I make it. And maybe this helps you out. Who knows? So let's give this a try. We're going to take our brown rice. And I'm sure you could probably not measure it and just kind of eyeball it. But we're going to do one of these numbers. So we've got 1 cup. Got 2 cups. All right. So now we're going to take some of our water. And we're going to soak it. And I'm just going to take my hands, kind of agitate the water in there. Make sure we've got enough in there. And there we go. Like I was saying, we're gonna be reusing this rice, so after this we will end up cooking it, but that's gonna be for a completely different video, a whole different thing. But this is where it starts. So now we're gonna start timer for 15 minutes. Every 5 minutes, sometimes I forget, but if you can just come over, agitate it a little bit, and then after that 15 minutes, we're gonna strain this out into our jar, and then that's what's going to be going off to the side and culturing for we'll see how many days it takes. I'm suspecting that with our temperatures, probably going to be somewhere around 3 to 4 days. And what you're going to be looking for is there's going to be a separation. That separation is going to be some sediment on the bottom. There's going to be a clear-ish liquid. And then there's going to be kind of like this little cap that's on there. And what we're looking for is that liquid that's in the middle. We're going to suck that out. And then that's what we're going to use, 1 to 10 ratio of our milk. And then we're going to let that sit, and that will separate. We'll take the cheese that's on the top and then discard that. Who knows, maybe if I'm feeling brave, we've got a few days for me to make my mind up. Or seconds or minutes in this video to figure out whether maybe I may try a little bite. Who knows? Probably not, but we will see. But we'll take that and maybe throw it out in the compost pile or give it to our chickens, because our chickens absolutely love that stuff. But this is basically what we're making, lactic acid bacteria. That little cheese, the stuff that's in here is exactly what's inside yogurt, in cheeses. So yeah, though it seems nasty, it is safe for human consumption, which is what it is. But all right, we're gonna start 15 minutes and we'll be back. All right guys, it's been 15 minutes. What I am going to do here is we're going to get our coffee filter. We're going to put that, I am going to be using this just so I don't make a complete mess, and at least so I have a little bit of an idea of what we got cooking in there. So we're just straining this out. We don't want the rice. We just want that murky water that's in there. So again, we're straining this out. This is going to go in our mason jar to colonize that lactic acid bacteria. We're trying to culture it. Starts to get a little clogged up. All that sediment kind of fills up all those little pores that are in the coffee filter. After a while, it starts to take a little bit. Like I was saying earlier, you don't have to use everything exactly the way I'm using it. Say instead of our coffee filter, you could probably use a cheesecloth or whatever else you may have. You weirdos could probably use a sock if you wanted. Hopefully it's washed. You use anything to drain through, just as long as you're keeping that rice and also trying to keep this liquid as clean as possible. That'll definitely cut down on some of our sediment and whatnot. This is something that goes instead, it's stored in the fridge. I've always done that. What I like to do is make big, huge half gallons. It lasts for a while, but like I said, it is supposed to be stored in the fridge. From what I understand, it can be stored up to a year or so. There is a way to make it shelf stable, and that's using some brown rice or some sort of sugars to make it shelf stable. I have not done that. I have not messed around with that. Maybe that'll be something we can try one of these days, but we are just making it stable enough to go in the fridge. We've got about a cup and a half. All right, so we're taking our jar, taking that cup and a half and throwing her in there. We are taking another coffee filter and putting it on there. Now you could put just a regular lid on there. It can be cultured, I guess, with more of an anaerobic type environment, but I've noticed the best results that I've at least had have been with having this, or even just a paper towel, having some sort of breathable lid. It seems like it works pretty well that way. We've got our cup and a half of this, so that'll make a good amount. We're gonna need to probably get some more milk than what we've got in there, but we've got this. Again, we are going to start our countdown. Again, what we're looking for is that to separate. It's gonna smell a little sweet. You'll know, the nose knows, as they say, and that's also one of those things that's kind of awesome with this organic and regenerative K&F. If it smells funky, and it smells bad, rotten, it's probably bad. All right, guys, well, we are ready for our next step. We've got our milk and we've got our lactic acid concentrate. So this was the rice wash, sitting out for a few days. We're gonna take that liquid that's in the middle, 1:10 ratio. In this case, what we'll be doing is 5 cups of milk to a half a cup of this. And then we'll be mixing that into our half-gallon jug and leaving that to sit, have it separate, and then collect our serum that we're trying to achieve here. I'll be completely honest with you. This is my second batch of this. I made it in the beginning of the video. Unfortunately, I had to go away for work. I was gone for a little bit longer than I had expected, and I missed the window. It was a little funky. I wish I had taken a picture of it. I just wanted to make sure we started off and did this video right. So we jumped it, we restarted it. We are Wednesday right now. I started this Saturday. So it's been a handful of days and it's just about there. I found with the brown rice that I use, this tends to be a little bit cloudier than when I use organic white rice. But that's what we had. That was the only organic rice that I had available to me. So again, We're going off of our little Bible here, and that's what it recommends is the organic rice. I just happen to have brown rice, so that's what we did. We're gonna go down, check it out. We'll do the stream. We're gonna scrape the top off or spoon the top off of that junk up there. Take out half a cup of there, put her in, get her done, put a new lid on this. Again, we're still using our coffee filter so it's able to breathe, and you can put a lid on it. I believe that you can technically do this anaerobic. From what I've seen and what I've at least tried for myself, it seems to be the best that you're gonna get out of it is with having that breathable lid. And you could do this with paper towels, anything that's gonna breathe. So, all right, let's get down here. We have our 5-cup line. So we're gonna go ahead, crack it. All right. May end up topping it off, but got that open. Just kind of pull some of that goop off the top. Okay, we're gonna get half a cup here. Half a cup of our concentrate there, and we're dumping it in. All right. Taking that lid, and we're just putting her on there. I'll do a little shake in there, just kind of incorporate that. That's it. We let that sit, and we'll start to see it separate, and then we're on to the next step. There we go. All right, I'm gonna try to maximize our space we got in there, so I decided we're gonna add 1 more cup in there, and I think that'll still leave us enough room. So, again, following our 1-to-10 ratio, 1 tablespoon. Just a little over a half. Add another cup. See if I can spill it everywhere, guys. Ooh, got it. All right, I don't think we should fill it up any more than that. So we'll have some later for milk and cookies. Wonderful. All right, now we're putting the cap on, and this is going off to the side to hang out for a little while. Should have some nice, it's starting to warm up around here. Our house is at 77 degrees. We are up in the northeast up here, and as I'm sure a majority of you that are in this area know that a lot of us don't have central air. So we haven't quite got to the point where we're putting the air conditioner in, or do I want to pay the electricity bill that's going to come with that air conditioner. So right now we just pretty much have the windows open all the time, but lucky for us, that's gonna do us good for this. So 77 degrees, I imagine we'll probably have this done in a couple to a few days at most. Again, because that heat really speeds this up, we'll give her a go. And at least we got to the point of this. I was kind of bummed when we had to junk the first culture that we had, but these things happen. Sometimes I go away for work and I can't always do these things. So is what it is. So we're gonna put her off to the side and we'll wait for it. All right, y'all. Well, we made it. We finally have collected our LAB, lactic acid bacteria serum. This right here, this clear liquid or clear-ish, is what we're actually gonna be extracting from all this. The cheese, the whey, the curds are going to be thrown away. I did figure we'll take a little nibble and see how it tastes on camera, just to just for the hell of it. One thing I did notice is it didn't separate super cleanly. Sometimes I have really good luck and it seems like it separates really well. Sometimes we still have some of this and it's still a little cloudy in there. Is what it is. It's still gonna work. I'm sure some of the purists out there, some of the people that have been doing this much longer than I have, would give me flack about it. Fuck you. So it is what it is. We got what we got. Sorry. So we are taking our lid off. That smells like a load of cheese. It actually smells really fucking good. So I'm actually kind of excited that I decided to grow some balls and give it a try. The things that we're gonna need here: another jar to put our what we're collecting, our bowl to put the cheese in there, and some kind of spoon. I guess to make it extra clean of going through, we could use some cheesecloth or something like that to kind of strain it through for our liquid. Unfortunately, I don't have that here available to me right now, and I do not have something else to strain it through. So we're just gonna be very careful. It's probably not gonna look super nice, but it will do the job. So let's take a look. All right, so here we are. We've got our final container, our lid. We'll take the ring off of that. We've got this. Pop this open. Yeah, it smells like cheese. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to gently, let's get a little, let's make this a little nicer. We'll take a knife. Let's just try to cut this in half the best we can, because if we start mangling it up with this, we are definitely going to mess that serum up worse than we already have. At least with this, we can get it apart in manageable bites. Not really any easy way about it. Maybe if I started using some larger mouth jars, this would make my life a little easier. If anyone else out there, all the purists that I just told you to go fuck yourself, let me know if you guys use those larger jars so you don't have to jack it up like this. Or I'm sure a lot of you would say, hey, get some cheesecloth, asshole. Again, great idea. So now we're gonna take this. What I'll probably end up doing, because there still is quite a bit in there, I'll at least try to get most of it in here. Maybe we'll break out the cheese, or not cheesecloth, another one of these, and use that. Actually, you know what? Let's give it a try. Nope. So I don't know where my strainer is. So we are just gonna do it very carefully. So let's see. We'll use this to kind of get that first little nastiness off the top. The other problem that I have with using these coffee filters is it takes a long time to get it strained through. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. What we'll do is we'll just drain this out. And then over time, I'm sure it's gonna end up settling down and we'll be just fine. Definitely not the cleanest looking labs that you'll find. And there's all kinds of tricks to it. But again, we're gonna take this. This is the one that's gonna go in the fridge. We're gonna store this in the fridge. And I believe it was my understanding that this, while refrigerated, could last up to a year. Maybe a little bit shorter. It may have just been that concentrate. But I know I've had some of this in the fridge for quite some time and have not had any issues with it. Eventually this will kind of settle out. All that stuff that's floating around in there will fall to the bottom. So we'll take our lid, that'll go on top. We'll mark it later with the date that we put this all together. And then this is what we are going to use or how I at least use it, is 1 shot glass per earth box that I fill up. And honestly, right now, this doesn't really have much of a smell. It has just a little bit of a, I'm not quite really sure what it is, but it's got a little bit of a stink to it, but it's not terrible. And here it is. This is the cheese. It smells like freaking cheese, guys. Cheers. I just took the slightest bit, just the smallest little bite. And while it's not terrible, it's not great. It does not taste great. So I will not do that again. But for science purposes, we tried. If I die after this video, then we will have known. Don't eat the cheese. It's not wonderful. So, it is what it is. This is who's meant to eat it. These girls love it. Comes out here, doesn't go to waste. They eat it up. Nasty ass chickens. Enjoy, ladies. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. This was how I do labs. It's worked for me. I definitely notice a benefit. Something that I encourage anybody else to get out there and make some. And it's fun. Tastes like crap, but it's a good addition to the garden. And it's also one of those things where chicken apparently has something to say. So she's busy in there working. So that's it, guys. I guess the video's over. She's got stuff to say. We've got no more room to say it. So, all right. Peace, y'all.